YouTube? It's your girl Ken, and I'm back with another video, yo. So y'all heard about the case that happened with the two twins up in New York? They got stabbed to death because they rejected a dude. Yo, we about to get into this video. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, man. And turn the notification bell on, man. It's Ken's TV. Let's get into it.
No, I'm not attacking you. Who's this nice man? I'm too drunk to this shit, so I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, so the footage is, you see?
At one point, the deli owner had to lock the doors to keep the man out. The twins thought the coast was clear, but once they walked out of the deli...
All over someone getting rejected.
Rejected simply.
And there's so many witnesses.
They just escalated
stupid.
it.
I don't understand.
I don't know if they were sober or not.
Because everybody gonna come with their different narratives.
This was unnecessary.
Oh, that was the reason.
In the early hours of March the 17th, 2024, a few weeks before she was supposed to be celebrating her 20th birthday with her twin sister, 19-year-old Samia Spain was attacked outside a bodega in Brooklyn, New York. Her crime, she refused to give her phone number to a man who hit on her outside a bodega. The man did not like being rejected, so he attacked Samia and her sister. Sonia and Samia went out with friends to have fun on a Saturday night.
Beautiful
Samia
black women
never made it back home.
She didn't want to be bothered. Why did she have to die? Because you're not who she want to be accompanied by. Walk away.
I'm guessing.
Sonia and Samia Spain were twins, and as with most twins, they were inseparable. They went everywhere together, liked most of the same things, and had the same group of friends. It was like they had one soul. A family friend described Samia as a beautiful young girl who was smart, kind, and outgoing. She had her entire life in front of her. Music was her first love. She was so passionate about that, she hoped to someday make a name for herself in the music industry. Samia was the kind of person who always had a reason to smile. It is said that if you meet Samia, she would always have a smile on her face, regardless of whatever she was going through. She never had an attitude. She went through life with so much poise and grace. She also had many friends. Her easygoing nature attracted many people to her, but her best friend in the whole world was her twin sister, Sonia. That's often the case with twins who grew up together. In fact, it is sometimes said that they can get so close that it would be like they were one person. And according to their family friend, Samia and her twin sister were exactly like that.
Over a female. You know what it is? She told you.
They were always together. When you see,
that's like the other story that I did on here already. With the basketball player.
They wore similar clothing, made similar hairstyles, even posed in similar ways in their photos. Wherever you saw one, the other wouldn't be far away. The twins had been born in New York, but moved to North Carolina when they were younger. But after spending a few years in North Carolina, they began to miss the city life, and they pleaded with their parents to let them move back to New York. Their parents agreed, and the girls were allowed to move back. But unfortunately, a few years after they moved back, the girls would be viciously attacked by a stranger who was trying to hit on them. On March 16th, 2024, Samia and her twin sister Sania went out with a group of friends to a party. It was a Saturday, so they hung out with their friends and enjoyed themselves. But as the day came to a close and the next day rolled in, the twins decided it was time to go home. But before they headed home, they decided to branch a bodega a few blocks from where they lived to get something to eat. According to someone who was partying with the girls, the group piled into the bodega, Slope Natural Plus, on 4th Avenue at around 2:20 a.m. They spent some time outside the bodega deciding what they wanted to get before agreeing on sandwiches and beef patties.
Did you know the girls?
Not personally, but we was at a party, and we just had left, and we went to the store to get food. We was all getting sandwiches or like beef patty just to eat. We're hungry. We want to go home, and this happens.
According to the same girl who was partying with the twins, as they made their way into the bodega to get their snacks, a few guys approached them. One of the guys turned to the twins and complimented them. They appreciated his compliments, but he didn't stop there.
So I had walked in the deli to order food, and these guys were holding their door open for everybody. He had one of the guys had complimented the two girls that had walked in with their friends.
He asked if he could get Samia's number, and that's when things took a different turn. You see, Sania didn't want to give him her number, so she said no.
If they're not
she wasn't interested in him. At this point, things began to escalate. The boy began to get upset that he was being rejected. So, to make him feel better, Samia offered
it's
to give him
not
her
that
Instagram
hard.
handle. He could follow her there and send her a message.
Police say Kelly,
should
who
have
had too
not
much
had
to
to
drink, flew
escalate
into a
for
rage when
somebody
Samaya would
to
not give him
die.
her phone number. She and her sister did not know Kelly,
By a
had
phone
never
number.
seen him before.
A 10-digit
but
phone
to
number, bro.
pacify him, she gave him her Instagram handle.
Samia had no plans to actually talk to him,
Instagram.
but she
She
didn't
gave
want
me the
things to escalate.
Instagram.
At this point, the boy followed Samia on
Like,
Instagram,
stuff like
but when
stories
he
like
asked
this,
Samia to
I
follow
can't
him back,
stand doing
she said no.
because it's literally the
boy
world
flew
that we
into a
live in
rage.
today, which is very scary. The thing about it is we can't control it. We can't. That's why Beyonce says pretty hurts. It really does, man.
He
Y'all
started
see the
yelling and
footage right
calling
there,
the twins
y'all.
names, and they called him names right back. At this point,
Like,
the
why?
owner of the bodega intervened
Why?
and asked the man and his friends to leave the bodega as it was clear he was harassing the twins.
Exactly. Harassing them. But of course they didn't think anything was going to go that far. Of course not.
That's it, yeah.
According to the girl who was with the twins who did not want to be identified, the boy walked down the street angry and kept calling them names as he walked away.
They
Like, unnecessary,
said no.
bro.
They weren't attracted, so he called them names. They called him names back.
Unnecessary, bro.
He walked down the block angry.
A few minutes after he was kicked out
You
of the
walking
bodega,
down the block
he came
angry.
back, but the
Angry
owner of
for
the
what,
bodega
man?
had locked the door and he
Angry
could not
for
get
what?
in.
And then a couple, like,
See, the
like
thing
2-3
about it
minutes
is,
later, he comes up and starts banging and
Stories
kicking on
like
the glass
this
door,
makes my
trying to get
skin
in.
He
crawl
comes back to the bodega.
Yes.
so bad.
He left and came back.
Especially because I have
Not
sisters,
being allowed
you
him
feel me?
seemed to have pissed him off
Like-
because he started yelling louder and banging on the door harder before leaving for the second
This is
time.
ridiculous.
After he left for the second time, everyone assumed he was gone for good.
Pray
So
for
the owner
every
of the
family that's
bodega
going through
unlocked the
this,
door
man.
so everyone could leave.
It's crazy.
Unbeknownst to them, the man had not really left.
At one point, the deli owner had to lock the doors to keep the man out. The twins
And
thought
like
the
for him to
coast
have to
was
lock
clear,
the doors to
but
keep
once
you
they
out,
walked
bro,
out of the deli,
you're doing
The
too
moment
much,
the doors
cuz.
opened
You're
and the
doing
girls
too
and their
much.
friends walked out onto the street, the man rushed back.
He's banging on the door. They locked the door. Then he walked away again.
And then you walking away again.
So they unlocked the door so everybody could
Like,
leave.
the answer,
So the
if
second
they
the
say
second
no,
they opened the door,
it's just
he
no.
ran back into
What
the
are
door and
y'all
started
men
attacking
not
them.
understanding?
At this point, a fight ensues. The girls had been with their brother, so he started arguing with the guy to leave his sisters alone.
Like,
The
in
friends
a
the guy was
fight.
with then started fighting the girl's brother. At this
Fighting
point,
the girl's
the boy
brother,
came out of
bro,
nowhere
like-
and attacked both
Of course, in New
sisters.
York, guns
They get
is
right in front of the
illegal,
deli.
man.
They're fighting, and then a guy in all black had stabbed one of the girls in her neck and the other in her arm, and ran.
After the twins got attacked, their friends
They
gathered
get
around
them,
them.
like,
Someone took off a sweater to
why?
apply pressure, and someone else called 911.
So
Like,
then everybody gets
to
to
me,
attending her.
of
One
course,
of her friends
nobody
took off
could
their
tell
shirts
what's
and
gonna
started putting
happen,
compression
but
on her neck,
just a
trying
little
to slow down
small-
the bleeding.
Little piece of
And
it. Somebody
she
could
was
have been
gushing
called a
blood
cop.
just
You feel me?
down her entire body, covering the street inside and
I
the
bet.
bike
A
lane.
lot of blood,
That's
man.
when we called 911 and they showed up.
Wow,
and
covering the
put
bike
her.
lane.
And last time I saw, she was like full flat, laid down, unresponsive, getting on the hearse.
Unconscious?
Yes.
Once first responders got there, they realized that one twin had been attacked more viciously than the other. Paramedics worked on them to stabilize them before rushing them to the hospital. Once the scene was clear, officers moved in, cordoned off the area, and started their investigation. Forensics immediately started working the crime scene. A knife, thought to be the weapon of attack, was found on the floor. As forensics worked the scene, officers started questioning everyone who was there. The owner of the bodega was also questioned, and people who were hanging around the area at the time of the attack also gave statements to the officers to help them build a
But, yo,
timeline
this
of
is really
events.
the world we
The
live
girl
in
who had been
today.
with the twins spoke to officers saying the man that attacked the girls had been drunk.
don't understand.
His friends had tried to warn him to leave the girls alone
And it
because he
seemed
was
like
drunk,
everybody was
but he
drunk.
didn't listen to them.
All
I-
over someone getting rejected.
Rejected simply, and they just escalated it.
Right.
I don't know
It
if they
don't
were
matter if you
sober or not, but
Like,
it's just,
to me,
this
it's
was
like,
unnecessary as
of course,
hell.
everybody's
Actually,
body is
I do.
different.
His friend was telling
But
him,
when
like,
I'm
"You're drunk, let's just
intoxicated,
go."
my mind is
So
still there.
they're not sober.
Everything is still
They get
there.
rejected and they just escalated
Like,
tenfold.
it's just no excuses.
Like, we was all having a good night before this.
Wasted your life.
The next
over
step
a
after working on the
rejection.
scene was to inform
Now
Samia
you
and
in the
Sania's
cell
family of what happened
with
to their
me.
daughters. They were
What you
told
gonna do?
Sania
Get
was in the
mad 'cause they
hospital being
reject you
treated,
too?
but unfortunately,
Come on, man.
Samia
It's
didn't make
immature.
it. She passed away shortly after being taken to the
Like,
hospital.
RIP to Samaya,
Sami's family were devastated by what happened.
I miss her so much.
Her tears run deep after losing her 19-year-old daughter, Samaya Spain.
Investigators also spoke to Samia, who was awake and responsive, and she narrated everything that happened to them. According to Sania,
Oh my
she and her
gosh, she
sister
was a
Samia
baby.
had taken a break from a family game night and were walking to the Slope Natural Plus on 4th Avenue in Park Slope
It's
with their
not
brother
cool at
at
all.
around 2:20
Like, she had
a.m.
a whole
when a
life
friend
to
pointed
live.
out that someone was following Samia. The man followed them into the bodega and tried to talk to Samia. Sania told investigators she felt protective over her sister and didn't like the guy, so she grabbed her phone and I was like, "Come with me, come with me." I was like, "Why are you talking to that boy?" She said, "I don't want to talk to that boy." Sania told investigators. Samia then told the man, "I don't want to be bothered with you. Leave me alone." But he didn't listen to
Leave
her
me
and
alone.
continued to pester her. Sania said
That's
that
what
to
they
get him
hate.
off
They
their
hate to hear
backs,
that, boy. You
Samia
tell
gave
them
her
leave you
Instagram
alone, they
handle
hate
to him.
that.
But when she wouldn't follow him back, he got even angrier and started yelling at them, calling them names. According to
Of
Sania,
course, when they get
he
mad,
pushed
they
little
call
Samia,
females
and then
names,
I pushed
like-
him.
like
And
that's gonna
then
make them want
everybody
them
else
even more,
started
like-
pushing him out the door. With the help of the bodega
Wish
owner,
y'all
they were
should
able to
have.
kick
Y'all
the
should
man and
have.
his friends out of the store. Investigators found out that the man left, but then came back. And this time around, he had a weapon. He banged on the door of the bodega and asked to be let in, but the store owner refused, so he left. Except this time around, he didn't actually leave. He hid out of sight and waited for the girls to exit the bodega, and the moment he saw the doors open, he and his friends rushed to them and attacked them. After the guys ran away, Sania turned to her sister, only to realize she had been seriously injured. She said, "I'm about to faint," Sania said. As soon as she said, "I'm about to faint," I called 911. What happened to the twins quickly swept the community. The media caught wind of it and started reporting on it.
This cell phone video obtained by Pix 11 News shows the moment Spain and her twin sister Sanaya were brutally attacked. That's Samaya apparently being stabbed in the chest and neck.
They also spoke to the twins' mom, who said the attack was very calculated, saying the man responsible knew exactly what he was doing.
Those were deadly points that he punctured in her body, that even if she fought it, I don't think she could have won the fight.
LaShawn Goodson is more than heartbroken, thinking about the death of her daughter, but how she died, Goodson says, makes the pain that much harder.
Her mom told the media
course.
that what happened to beautiful
Of
Samia
course, 'cause the
wouldn't have
reason
happened
behind
if
it
Veo
is
had
just
learned to take
crazy.
no for an answer.
She didn't want to be bothered. Why did she have to die? Because you're not who she want to be accompanied by. Walk away.
Exactly.
Don't hit on no
Walk
girl.
away,
don't
bro.
fight no
Or
female.
at least been like,
no matter
be
what.
friends or something.
Go
Like,
on about your business. My daughter Sanaya was arguing with the
All
guy
you coulda did
in my
was gone
daughter's
about your
defense
business.
outside,
And everything
and he
you could've
stabbed
did,
her,
everything.
and she went to the floor.
But I know he
And at
regrets
that
it.
very moment,
I know he
Samaya
does.
went to attack him, and he stabs her in the heart. And when she went down, he stabs her in the neck.
like that
While
dude
their
must
mother
have been
tries to
angry
deal
about
with her
some other
grief,
stuff.
she wants the man responsible
Had
for
to
taking
be.
her daughter's life to suffer, just as she had suffered.
I just want him to suffer every day like I am. I want him to wake up every day in a cell, just like I gotta wake up every day with my mind in a cell.
Members of the community stood in solidarity with Samia and Sania's mom, saying no should always mean no.
The community wants the
No
same
means
thing,
no.
standing in solidarity
No means
with the
no,
family.
man.
No means no in
No
our community.
means
If in fact that
no.
this woman didn't want you to say
Leave
anything or do
them
anything to her,
alone.
you should have just walked away.
That's all y'all
They
have
also
to
urged
do,
him to turn
man.
himself
Is
into the
y'all
authorities
man.
and pay for what he had
Leave
done.
them alone.
So the call to the action right now is to say to the individuals that committed this crime, turn yourself in. You may run, but you're not going to hide.
Because the twins lived in a close-knit
Right.
community, everyone knew each other, and many residents
commit
got
the crime
involved.
if you ain't gonna do the
Once
time?
people got involved, it didn't take long for the case to get to social media. Once people on social media got wind of it, it started getting reposted, and a short while later, the boy who attacked the girls was identified as 20 years old, Veo Kelly. Once his identity was revealed, community members started posting photos and videos of him on social media, urging people who knew him to get him to turn himself
And that's
in.
one thing I love about social media. I might not be a huge fan of it, but like when it comes
After
to stuff
receiving
like
pressure
that,
from
like,
everyone around him,
it helps a
20-year-old
lot.
Veo Kelly had no choice but to turn himself in to the authorities.
Yeah, he absolutely did that today. He showed up here at the 7A precinct. He turned himself in, and he had his lawyer with him at the time.
He was arrested outside of the precinct, where several people gathered, and they had some not very nice things to say to him.
Yeah, you better have got you a lawyer, man. This is...
How dare you? You should run.
Hey, I understand why they angry.
I can't wait till I see your sister,
I'm not seeing this footage. Yes, as they should. They should be angry. They have every right to be angry. Yep.
What would happen if somebody did that to your sister? Stabbed her up 3 places.
Exactly. Exactly.
He was taken to the
And I
appropriate
really can't
station
stand
where he
seeing
was
black on
charged for
black
what he did to
crime.
Samia
Like,
and what he
I
attempted
can't
to do to
stand it. Not
Samia.
saying, I'm saying,
And has been charged with the murder of a
anybody should be killing
19-year-old
anybody, no.
woman. Police say she
But
was stabbed to death outside a bodega in
we need to
Brooklyn
stop
when she
killing each other.
refused to give
We
him his
need to
number.
stop killing
Upon his
each other.
arrest, the authorities found out he had a
Like,
criminal
come on,
past.
man.
He had previously been arrested for armed robbery.
We need to stop.
Authorities say Kelly has at least one prior arrest for robbery. He turned himself in this morning at the 7-8 precinct.
This case was very heart-wrenching for the community, but it completely tore Samia's
I
family
bet.
apart. They struggle
bet.
with the fact they no longer have twin girls. It was particularly hard watching Sania turn 20 this month without Samia.
And Samaya's birthday, by the way, is next month. She and her twin sister would have celebrated their 20th birthday together.
While Veo
Now
Kelly
that's
has been
crazy.
charged, the case is still ongoing, and investigators are working with the DA's office to put together a case against him. As at the time...